Hurt in a car? Call our sponsor, William Mattar. 844-444-4444. With a focus on motor vehicle accidents, the team at William Mattar has handled thousands of cases like yours. Let them help you get the money you deserve after a motor vehicle accident. Rideshare, truck, motorcycle, car, only call William Mattar. 844-444-4444. Welcome back to another episode of the Sabre Report podcast, coming at you with our second episode of the week. I mean, by the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever. Obviously, we just put out an episode earlier in the week. But we also knew that we had to check off something that we do every single year. That's because we just crossed the halfway point for the Sabre season. We are currently on by the time you listen to this, it'll be game 44. So obviously game 41 we just crossed last week. So we got some player grades to do. And I think I'd be willing to bet this is the most positive set of grades, or at least positive that we've been heading into doing this exercise, which is kind of nice. I mean, we were discussing before we even hit record, not a lot of negative grades in here. Not a ton. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what we think's going on here, considering team's in a good place, and I don't think any real... Are we going to have any failing grades? I don't know. I don't think we'll have any fails this year. We had quite a few last year.
Yeah, we had more than a few. I was saying if we recorded this like a month ago, good chance we probably see some negative grades, but the vibes are great right now. What else could you ask for?
Yeah, hopefully the vibes are still high. Obviously, the Sabres
we
have a matchup on Monday night. So I just want to stress again, this is recording on Sunday. We did a little double feature with 2 episodes, so giving you some extra content this week. So this might age badly, but hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully the vibes are still high and they take care of business against the Panthers and just keep on rolling along. So, like every time we do this exercise, few parameters that we usually set. First of which being games played. Usually I keep it to around 10. This year I'm going 12 because it takes out your Justin Danforth, Mason Geertsen, Ryan Johnson, Trevor Kuntar. This doesn't apply to the goaltenders, but the cutoff is at 12 because that's the amount of games that Jiri Kulich played, and I figured he should probably be exempt from this exercise. All 12 of those games came while his blood was not working properly in his body, so I figured it'd be a little bit unfair to grade him off of that, and it's a nice little benchmark because everybody else is above that. And as for the grades themselves, usually the reference that we use is this is mostly baking expectations we had about players going in to the season, how they're doing to match that. And for us, a B grade is generally seen as they are playing at about expectation. And we've used that grade in the past, and very often our grades have usually been a lot higher on Sabres teams that are usually disappointing. So it's always very fun to see that sort of juxtaposition when we put the grades out into the public and get a lot of feedback. But that's usually what we do. B grade is like about expectation. So you usually see a lot of these during the exercise, but I have no clue as to how many players will line up close to that. So
yeah, usually we're all pretty close to each other.
Yeah, it's usually a big like agreement party on most of these guys. Yeah. But we just all have solid takes. Like what else?
Or at least the way we used to do it was we would fight over a grade. Like each one of us would present a grade, and then we'd have to like come to a consensus. And we got rid of that system last year. We decided to give our trusty friend Excel, let them help out and just average our grades out.
Yeah, and I think a B at meet expectations is fair because most of our grades are usually A and C. But if you really suck, like you deserve a D or C, like or a D or F. Like you just kind of deserve it. So most grades are within that A to C range, which B is right in the middle.
I'm trying to think who got F grades last year. I think I gave Sam Lafferty one.
Might be. I
I
wonder
think-
if I could.
Don't disrespect him.
Who else did I give an F? Did I give? No.
Did you give Quinn an F?
I think I did give Quinn an F.
Oh,
I
man.
think I did.
Trying to
I don't know if I
find
raised it.
in my notes.
He did have 20 and 20. That's why it kind of makes me think like, oh, did you give him an F?
That's going to be the thing. I can already tell when we get there this time, it's going to be so funny, especially like when we're recording this, we're coming off of a 2-goal performance. So,
Right, yeah.
I mean, I can already say like he's one of my lowest grades, which is very funny because he's like 8th on the team in scoring, I think.
I think higher.
He's 7th. 7th on the team in scoring, and he might be
6th. Tied for
He
6th.
plays
tied for 6th.
strict beer league hockey. There is no defense to that game whatsoever.
Yeah. So I got my grades up here. I gave Lafferty an F, and I gave Quinn an F. Oh, and I also gave Abe Kubel an F.
Damn.
That's a shame.
It's also fair.
Was deserved, though.
Mhm.
Was deserved. Yep. So yeah, 3 Fs last year. Don't know if I'll be giving out any this year, but who knows? Who knows? We'll have to find out. So without further ado, should we just jump right into it?
Yeah, let's get the first player going. Who do you got for us?
Well, my list is organized basically by team scoring, so we are probably going to go from best to worst. But we'll start with the big man himself, Tage Thompson. As I just mentioned, leading the team in points, just a hair under point per game. I'll start things off. I gave him a B.
Really?
It's been very...
Mm.
I gave him like just about average to like what he's been. I guess it just depends what you expect of him.
I mean, piggybacking off of that, I think I expect more out of the big man. I gave him a B-.
That's fair.
I was just listen. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but all these players have different standards, and we know what Tage's is. He's expected to lead the team in goals, probably points, maybe like against a couple other people, but he was a little streaky, and maybe not all to fault to his own. Like he was moved to the wing and back to center and to the wing, and I think we could all agree he's a better fit at center.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like, how much of this is like his fault?
Right, yeah, exactly. And I don't know. He's definitely been picking it up. Didn't he have a goal streak going recently? Didn't he have like a 6-game goal streak?
He's had like
something?
2 separate 6-game goal streaks, I think. Very hot and cold player.
But he's trending up. But I'm gonna stick with a B-.
I think this whole episode I might be the more Debbie Downer. I gave him a C+. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still putting up his production. He's almost at a point per game. But I just feel like for a lot of this season, he really hasn't been the best player on the ice a lot of the nights. Like, of course, you could think of the Dallas game. He was unbelievable. But are there really any other games this year where he just took over and was your best player? Like, there really aren't that many.
Yeah, there have been nights he's been a ghost. Yes.
And like, even with him getting goals right now, it's not always just he's dominating out there. It's like, okay, he made like their line made one good play for that shift. The rest of the game, he doesn't really do much. Like, he's still Tage. He's still your best forward. I just want him to be a little more dominant, and I hope he keeps trending that way. It probably doesn't help that he's playing alongside Peyton Krebs, even though that line's been together for a while and they've been doing pretty good. But I expect a little more out of him. And I'll continue to say he sucks in the power play. So Christian agrees with me.
No, I agree with you there. Yeah, it's weird. He's kind of become like the bad link of the power play. Just, I mean, he's got that threat of the one-timer there, but when's the last time you saw a 100+ mile an hour one-time bomb from him? Like, teams they just know, they expect it, so they defend a different way.
Yeah, I think I'll drop mine to a B-. I don't know if I can go as far as C+. I think it's very funny just to look at the production. Like, it's very Tage Thompson. Like, still, he's going to sleepwalk his way to 40 goals.
Yep.
He's second in the league. Maybe, yeah, he's might have a standalone place at second in the league at 5-on-5 goals. Very funny to look at all that and just see that this is maybe pedestrian by his standards.
He's still doing Tage stuff. He's still doing his thing. It's just wanting more on a night-to-night basis where he's just taking over.
I can agree with that. I can agree. All right, so you can put those grades in, JP. He'll be keeping track. Moving on. We got the player playing for his next contract, whether that's with the Sabres or not. We got Alex Tuch. Alex Tuch, who has been a big debate. It's going to continue to be a big debate. But as for the play on the ice, I don't have much to complain about. I gave him an A. I think he's been doing Alex Tuch things all season. His under-the-hood numbers are pretty great, as to be expected from a Sabre entering his contract year. The penalty kill, obviously, it's been one of the best in the league, and it's due in part to him. Not many nights where I'm complaining about Alex Tuch. I feel like even last year, I feel like I was very much like, this is not the same player. He's playing for a payday, I would say. So I went with an A.
Yeah, I gave him a B pretty much for the same stuff you said. He's kind of met expectation for me. Still great,
yeah.
Yeah,
I also gave him a B. I was debating going to a B+ with him. I think my expectations with him changed a little bit, knowing that he wants what he wants with his contract. So it's like, hey, you want to play up to that number?
I don't know. That sounds like a conflict of interest for
Are you sure?
For making a grade. I don't know.
I mean, that's my expectation
greedy
going
asshole.
into the season, though.
I'll show him. Take this grade.
But yeah, he's a horse on the power play. He's
penalty kill.
Sorry, penalty kill. He's just him and McLeod, absolute units out there. Definitely a reason why it's top 3 in the league. And yeah, he quiet point producer, and he's not always the flashy player, but he's someone that you want on your team on a nightly basis. So I'll bump him up to a B+. I'm gonna say B+.
I think the thing for me is he's almost at point per game. I mean, he's on pace for the year he's having is he's getting pretty close in production to his best year as a Sabre. And he's doing it. He's not on the first power play unit. He's rarely on the first line. Like, this has been a lesser role for him. And he's still doing Alex Tuch things. I'm getting nervous, though.
So pay him his money.
Okay.
Bring that man his money.
I'm getting nervous that I'm going to be like the nicest. Me, of all people.
Well, it'll be a nice change of pace.
I guess so. People are going to call me a grifter, just riding the wave of whatever the team's doing at this point in time. JP?
I said a B.
All right. Okay. Moving right along. Josh Doan, man. What a player. What a start it's been to this season. Third on the team in scoring. Ridiculous numbers wherever you look for him. Hard not to say. I gave him the full A+. He's been everything and more that was ever expected of him. I don't even know. Did we predict his point total going into the season?
That's a good question.
You have to go back to the season preview. I feel like we might have.
I feel like a crazy take for him.
One.
I feel like a crazy take back then for him would have been 40 points. He's already at 30. He's already at 30.
Yeah, I think if you're not giving an A+, I don't know. Maybe you just knew he was better. Maybe you just knew he was a dog at Utah, but no one. I don't think anybody was expecting how good he is. And even league-wide recognition, and it's impressive.
I didn't give him an A+. I put 4 plus signs next to the A on my list. So I don't know if you could average that one out, but yeah, just that was the easiest grade on the list. I didn't even think twice about that one.
Really, that was the easiest grade.
That was.
I think there's one more.
I think there's two.
Actually, there's two more. I am
easy.
expecting the F grade.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's another one that I didn't have to think twice about. Okay.
Yeah. Unbelievable
I mean, just
player.
What a player, man! What a friggin' player!
Lock him up
immediately.
All right, here's the first one that I think will get interesting. And that's Rasmus Dahlin. It's good. It's interesting how you're going to grade him because I think we all can see it's not the same player from the past 3 or 4 years, especially this last stretch. Despite the Sabres winning a ton of games, he has been far from their best player in this stretch for most of it. Obviously, the extenuating circumstances he has off the ice. It's hard not to argue that the change in play we've seen this season has to do with the stuff going off the ice with him and his family. So for me, the one thing I did was put an asterisk next to his grade. I had him at a C+. I tried to just keep it just to play on the ice. Just play on the ice. But there's an asterisk there. And he's still been really good at times. Like, his season has gone from very poor at the start, took the leave of absence, came back, was their best player, ignited the change in play that we saw. Like, the team was still losing games, but over that stretch, we were saying, like, this team's first in the league in expected goal share since he returned to the lineup. And then the Christmas break happens, and then that's really when things started to dip back down. So, I think despite you're looking at the broader picture going, maybe he's not the same player, he's still, at times, he has still been Rasmus Dahlin, which is why, even though I think I'm giving him a C+, I don't really feel poorly about it moving forward.
Yeah, I gave him a B-. Definitely not up to the expectation that we usually see out of Rasmus Dahlin, and of course some of that is out of his control, and I would also put an asterisk next to that. But I mean, still, whenever he has the puck, I don't have any. There's no nerves. Like, I see Rasmus Dahlin with the puck behind the net in a defensive battle, I'm like, oh, he's got it. It's like there's no reason to panic. He hasn't made any massive mistakes. He hasn't been a black hole for the team. He had a tough stretch at the beginning of the year, but he came back, bounced back, and he's kind of probably regressed back to the mean for this season for him for a little bit. But B- I think was the sweet spot for him. Not as good as I thought, but a lot going on there.
Yeah, I'm giving him a C+ too, kind of for my same argument as Tage. Like, he's still doing Dahlin things, but he's not as dominant as he was for all the things you guys just listed. So I didn't want to be too harsh. I probably would maybe drop it a little more if it wasn't for extenuating circumstances. But I also do think, and we didn't talk about this for Tage at all, but this huge turnaround, I think, can really be credited to the leadership group they have, and that's mainly Tage and Dahlin. So I think in that area, they've been very good, at least recently. I mean, obviously, to start the season, can't give him credit. But yeah, I mean, he's still Dahlin. I think it's probably the first time in a while that you could probably make the argument that he hasn't been the best player on his own pair, because his pairmate has just been so good this year. So he's definitely not playing to a Norris level standard like he has in past years, but he's still arguably our best player and one of the best defensemen in the league still.
Moving right along. Next up, some call him the perfect hockey player. So will he get the perfect grade? Ryan McLeod. It's for me, this was someone that we talked about a lot over the summer as someone who I thought last year was going to be the apex of his career just as a Sabre. I just didn't think he'd get the same opportunity moving forward. I didn't think the point production would still be there, and he's on pace, I think, to match his point total from last year, or come very close to it. Same thing with him that I said about Alex Tuch, about just the penalty kill has been one of the best in the league, due in part to what he does when he's out there. And truly, I continue to believe, now that they have split up Tage Thompson and Josh Norris, that I can now pretty confidently say, like, this guy is the best third-line center in hockey. So I went with an A. Maybe I'm a little biased, but
No, you're not, because I also gave him an A. He's just the absolute engine of that middle six. The playmaking is there. He is the glue of that center spine, and penalty kill, 5-on-5, just fantastic all around. And
doing what he's doing
notes.
with the amount of time he has spent with Jack Quinn, it's impressive. I truly believe that the scoring that line does on a lot of nights, despite the fact that Quinn some nights is that, McLeod's the highest scorer on that line. I mean, he's 5th on the team right now, and he's just a joy to watch, man. He's just perfect. He's awesome. I love him so much. I very much take so much joy in the fact that I get to watch him on a nightly basis. Not to mention,
jersey, man.
now I gotta get it sometime, especially now that Matt Larkin has conceded.
Oh yeah,
and has officially given up.
I said I would be the Debbie Downer of the episode. I actually don't think he's been as good as last year. I'm giving him a B-. He's still
kick him from the room right now.
I love him. Like, he's
below expectations, I think, is ridiculous.
I don't think he's been as good as last year. Maybe it's just because he's playing with Jack Quinn, so that line doesn't do that much a lot of the nights. But I still love him. He's still amazing on the penalty kill. I just don't feel like he's been as dominant as he was last year.
Damn,
like, that's below expectations, though. Like, he's disappointing you this season?
I don't think he's as good as he was last year. I was expecting what he was last year. I think he's has been as good as he was last year. I mean, I think if you look at his numbers, his defensive numbers aren't even up to par.
I don't disagree, but I feel like there's a giant elephant on his wing that could be attributed. I'm not asking.
Needs to be addressed.
Listen, I'm not acting like he's been. It's not like he does all the work and he gives it to Jack Quinn and he just trips over himself and gives the puck to the other team on a nightly basis. I do think, well, he does do that sometimes. I do think that this isn't the same defensively responsible player that we saw in Edmonton or even like last year, but I don't know. I mean, he's given you second line center production on the third line while playing with possibly the worst player on the team. I don't know. I just feel like you're going to see a drop in production. I mean, I understand not giving him an A, but I don't know. B-. I can't get there. I'm very disappointed in you.
I mean, he is your guy. So I don't know. I still love him. I wouldn't change.
I don't think you do. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
I think defensively he's dropped off this year, and that could very well be because he's played a lot of his games with Quinn, but I don't think he's been as good as last year.
Damn.
All right.
Okay. Bowen Byram on a heater now.
It's wild
on
to watch.
a heater. Playing the best hockey possibly of his career. I would still say no. He was pretty tremendous in the 2022 playoffs when he won the Stanley Cup, but definitely his best hockey since then. These last 10 or so games. As for the season, I don't want to take away too much from this recent stretch. He is now, 4th in defenseman goal scoring? He's getting damn near close to 20 goals, or a pace of 20 goals over a full season. Cannot understand how much of the
11 or 12, I think.
Yeah, can't understate how great he's been during this stretch. But there were some lowlights, especially the Conor Timmins Bowen Byram pairing was the worst in hockey while it was together. And there's still been some rough moments, but it's hard not to say he hasn't been above expectations. So I'm going with a B+ here.
Yeah, I'm giving him an A-. I think when he hasn't been with Timmins, I think he's been pretty damn good. And I think what the most surprising part about it is the whole narrative of last year and going into this year is he can only play with Dahlin, and he hasn't played with Dahlin, and he's been pretty damn good. And obviously, there's definitely recency bias with this because he's probably been your best defenseman the last 10 games or so. But I think just the fact that he doesn't have to be tied to Dahlin this year to actually be pretty good and still putting up production, I think he's been very good. His first half of the year, probably not the best, but right now he's been awesome. And I don't think it's even just he's taking shots from the blue line and getting goals and assists. Like, he's driving play. And, like, he's even last game, like, his one, I think, or 2 games ago, his assist, like, he went end to end and then passed it. Like, he's doing stuff we haven't seen him do as a Sabre. So he's been very good. I hope he keeps it up. I really do.
Yeah, I have him at an A. I mean, after he signed that contract in the offseason, after everyone wanted him traded and, you know, this, that, and the other thing, my expectations for him weren't super high. I was more like, oh, this is a fun piece for Dahlin to play with, and that's about it. But, man, has he turned it on. Like, just like JP said, like, just the playmaking, the end-to-end skating ability, just everything. Just I went with an A. He's above expectation.
Okay. I think there's a little recency bias.
That's fine.
But that's to be expected. It's been a damn good recency.
A lot of this is recency bias. I mean, like,
it's been a very good
said,
recent stretch.
We do this a month ago. Everyone's like a C or below.
Yeah.
Except McLeod.
Definitely a lot of recency bias.
Except Doan and McLeod.
Jack Quinn. So we've talked a little bit about him, and I think for a lot of box score watchers, it's going to be confusing to see this because he's 7th on the team. Had a probably the game of his season last night against the Anaheim Ducks. 2 goals. One of those actually being the game winner. I, on the other hand, do not... well, we've talked at length about Jack Quinn. He has been one of the worst defensive players in hockey this season when you look at the advanced numbers. And you don't even have to look at the advanced numbers. A lot of nights it's been rough sledding for him. And I think he's been very blessed by the fact that this season he has been mostly paired with Ryan McLeod and recently Zach Benson. Earlier in the season with Jason Zucker. Because he's scoring, I think he's been able to fan the flames a little bit, or put out the fire a little bit. But for me, I guess I didn't know what I was expecting this season from him, but I do still feel disappointed a little bit. So I went with a C-.
The most unethical player on the Buffalo Sabres, Jack Quinn. I have him at a C. I mean, he's still young. A lot of it for me going into the season is like, it's like he's coming off major injuries. It's like, will he finally be able to get his game back? Like, it takes a very long time to come back from injuries like he had. And it's just not there. It's the defensive game's terrible. Like, zone entries, he's very soft on the puck. I mean, he still finds a way to get points though, which is good, but he's not. It's not good enough for me as a top 10 pick going into your prime of what your career should be. So, C.
I also gave him a C. Pretty much all the same reasons. I think the eye test matches what the analytics say. It doesn't exactly match what the actual
box
stats say
says.
because, he still puts up his numbers. But, yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think if this was like 2 seasons ago when we were really high in Jack Quinn, we might be giving him like a D or something. But I think our expectations really weren't that high for him this
One
year.
of us gave him an F
Changed
last
a
year.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along. The one we've all been waiting for. Mattias Samuelsson. Sammy Saint Sammy, whatever you want to call him. He found God during the offseason, and now he has found his game. Oh, my
It's insane.
God. What a turnaround. Incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a year-to-year jump like this since Tage Thompson. This is truly...
I'd say it's bigger than Tage Thompson.
Samuelsson was never one of the worst players in the league. He was very just annoyingly average to below average.
Other than his first year in the league.
Yeah, and like you baked in the availability and all that, and he was still being played up in the lineup. It was a player that was just very annoyingly not good.
Until
now he's top 5 in the league in WAR, and very well might get Norris votes. And I would go as far as to say he should get Norris votes. Holy cow, dude! I just still cannot understate how insane this has been. He's on pace for 40 points.
His career high was
That's
14 last
crazy.
year.
Like, even a part of me was like, I feel like maybe the goals are just a little skewed. Like, he's 7 goals. I thought to myself, oh, he's still got to have like a 7 and like 9 stat line going on here. No, I mean, very respectable. You know, he's outscoring Owen Power. Insane. Absolutely insane. He's got 2 less points than Bowen Byram.
With
From
zero
absurd.
power play time.
Zero power play
Zero
time.
play. I think I saw him on the power play for a second the other night. I'm not
That's
even
terrifying.
joking.
That's terrifying. We were joking the other night. Me and Jesse were joking the other night. The crowd gets a buzz when he touches the puck. He gets the
it's the
McDavid
aura.
treatment. He gets the
The aura.
McDavid treatment. Like, he touches the puck, people get out of their seats. Like, they begin to like rise up a little bit.
I mean, his goal Thursday night was unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Unreal. So
The most ridiculous thing I've seen in my entire life.
He might have he killed the Rangers. I think he killed them.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to come back after that. Wow,
I mean,
man.
I think we all have a consensus grade on this one, don't we?
Yeah,
He's-
this is
he's
he
more
breaks
goals
the
than Dahlin.
scale.
This is
Like,
A+.
He breaks
crazy.
he
Yeah.
breaks the scale. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Cannot believe this guy got booed on opening night. He got booed.
Everybody wanted him gone, including us. We were all wrong.
Yeah, we all wanted him bought out. We're
Yeah.
like, it's such an easy
Hey,
buyout. It's under
I mean,
$1 million.
Hey,
I need to see like what did
Kevin was right.
What did he know?
And leadership too. Like, he's been physical too. Like, it's just literally
He really-
everything
he
you want him
really-
to do, he's done.
His
he's
game has
become
come
the player
together.
that I think a lot of people wanted him, that everybody wanted him to become. You
But
know,
better. We all thought he was a shutdown defender when we extended him. We never thought he would put up 40 points in a season. I don't think we would have ever predicted that.
Absurd.
Insane.
Will it happen? Who knows? I would probably maybe still bet no, but like he'll get to 35. I think he's got 40 games to work with. Just awesome, man. Incredible. MVP of this season potentially. Jason Zucker is next up. Someone who I think you look at his stat line, it's pretty surprising to really look at the raw
Sneaky
production.
good. Sneaky, really
Sneaky
good.
good. I would argue very much power play inflated. Half of the points are on the power play, I believe.
We
I
need
think
that,
it's
though.
That's correct.
That's something this team needs.
they do need it, and it's important. And I don't think he in and of itself fixes the power play. I mean, I think we've seen that, but he's a positive impact player on there, and that is important for the team in this stretch run. They need goals from their power play, even if it's unethical or maybe not done the cleanest way. I mean, he scored a goal off of his back the other night. They need that. That said, this is not the same player I think we saw last year, where he was legitimately great at 5-on-5. I think he's been very pedestrian there. So I went with a B-, just slightly below. I think he's fine. I think Lindy has kind of treated him as what he is now, as the middle 6 player. That's not like last year where he was getting a lot of time on the first line. He's fine for what he is.
That's exactly where I have him too. I have him at a B-. I really like Zucker's game. I think having him in he missed that entire 10-game stretch when they went on that 10-game winning streak. I think that's a little bit of the reason why I bumped him down. I was going to give him a B, but yeah, the 5v5 play isn't there, but I still really like his game. I think he's possibly the most important piece of the power play that we have on this team. And I think if he stays in the lineup, he's going to trend up pretty quickly. Sneaky good.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think if we were to talk about like 5v5 play, I'd definitely drop it down. But I think the point production is sneaky good. So even though I think there's positive and negatives, I'm gonna stay at a B. I think he's been better than I probably would have expected at some aspects, especially the power play. But he definitely is not the most noticeable at 5v5. Could be line mates, but I think around B minus is definitely probably the most fair for him. And I have a question quick. We heard about like their leadership meetings from Tage being on Spit and Chicklets.
Yes.
Was Zucker mentioning that?
He was.
Okay.
It was the group of people. It was the group of people.
Curious.
It was the group of people you'd think it would be, and then it was Jordan Greenway.
Yeah, I remember Greenway. I was hoping Zucker was in it. I don't think I actually saw his name mentioned.
Yeah, he was there.
Makes sense.
Zach Benson. So this one might be interesting for me, considering very, very high on this player going into the year. My hot take was he could potentially reach 70 points, I think it was. And
like 50 assists.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my thought process was, hey, you give this guy 82 games with Tage Thompson, there's no way he doesn't sleepwalk to at least like 50 points. And even at this rate, over a full season, he's right now, I think over a full 82 games, I think he's on pace for 50. Let me check. 19 points in 30 games. It's about 51. It's 51 points. And he has not played with Tage Thompson a lot this season. He has had points, but now, he's being used as that middle six forward, and I think he's doing a good job. I do. I think he's had a good year. I think his level, the point production might not match what I expect of him, but I think his overall play is just about there. I put him at a B.
JP, you can go ahead on this one.
The silence is loud. I sense some disagreements.
I gave him a B minus. I was debating between a C plus and a B minus, to be honest. I think, like what Jonas said, this grade is largely dependent on he hasn't had those minutes that he's had in the past or that we were thinking he was going to have, which really isn't his fault. I mean, he's got Peyton Krebs playing on the first line over him, which is pretty crazy. But I think maybe just in general, I expect more out of him, but I'm more blaming it. It could be more on the coaching. Like his level of play is still up there. I do think he needs to add that goal scoring touch more, which I thought he would add a little more. But I think he's been slightly below, and that's because I had very high expectations along with Jonah. Not as high, but
20 years old, by the way.
Yeah, he's incredible player.
I baked that in a little bit too. Man,
put him in the? Where'd you put him? I'm very curious to know this.
Do I really just like Zach Benson's game that much?
All right, hell yeah. Did you give him an A?
The Junkyard Dog. I gave him an A minus. The Junkyard Dog, the Traveling Carnival.
I think he's
white trash. Tage Thompson calls him.
It depends what you think of him or what you had of him going in.
For me, a lot of it is just the intangibles. I know it doesn't show up in the box score, but his game, his two-way play is so important to this team and this forward core that him not being in the lineup it's a big loss. It is a big loss on a night-to-night basis. I mean, yeah, I guess I could say I would have expected him to, maybe start putting up some more points, but he's still 20 years old. I'm torn. You know what? B plus. I'm gonna change to a B plus.
B plus.
I think it's more fair. I would
change
admit
to a B plus.
I would admit, I don't know who. I think anything in the A range is probably overselling it a bit.
I think him coming back from injury and having 6 assists in 3 games, I think kind of boosts his stock in general.
I was feeling so good. I'm like, oh my god, this maniac's gonna score 80 points.
I mean, he was obviously that was awesome. I think the expectations went a little too crazy right after that happened. Like Jonah just said, he was expecting to have 80 points, but I think he needs more to be with better players around him, I guess. If we want to see his point production, he can definitely do it. It's just he's not really getting that top line minutes right now. He's not getting power play one. Well, he was when Zucker was out, but he's really not given the best chances on power play.
One.
I don't know if Benson should be at this point because Doan and Zucker are so good.
Dude, the power play, not to get off on a tangent, but it's reverted back to just everyone standing around and not doing anything.
It's true.
And Zucker, Benson, and Doan should be on that first power play, and everybody, you should make it work with everybody else.
Tage Thompson on power play 2 would be nuts. Would be absurd. I'm not saying it's ridiculous, but it would be ridiculous if you know what I mean.
Dude, Dahlin, Tage, and those 3.
And
make it work.
So Norris on the second unit.
Yes.
So you run. Wow. Okay.
Who's if Dahlin? Well, I guess production's better.
It's not that type of episode. Why you're throwing us off here?
Yeah. Okay.
I too think about. Trust me, I too think about how to fix the Sabres power play on a nightly basis, but not tonight. All right, moving on. Peyton Krebs. I don't want to start this one.
I'll start this one. I think I'm going to be the most positive because I love Krebs, and I know he's a fourth line player. He should not be on the top line, but I think he's actually been pretty good up there. I think there's a reason Lindy's keeping him up there. There's definitely been times where it does not look good. There's been a few games, but I think overall he's been pretty good in that top line. I gave him an A-. I think as a fourth liner, he does everything I love. He's a hustler. He is physical. He's a little rat out there. He's probably one of my more favorite players on the team, so there's definitely a little biased. But I think he's just been just fine in the top line, which exceeds my expectations. If he wasn't on the top line, he was just on the fourth line, probably just give him a B. But he's kind of surprised me with how, I guess reliable how he's been on the top line. Like it just hasn't been bad enough where you have to change it.
Yeah, I gave him a B plus. Just the fact that he's been on the top line and it hasn't looked terrible all the time. Like I was not expecting him to play on the first line going into this season, and they've made it work. And he's had plenty of good moments. You know, there's still aspects to his game you want to see, improve for a first round pick, but
it took him a long time to score.
Yeah, but hey. Again, it's worked. It's a B plus.
I think he's Lindy's favorite player on the team. By the way,
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
Yeah, neither would I. I think he's my most consistent year-to-year B grade guy,
B?
And I'm doing it again. He's B grade, just about what I would expect him to do. He is like the benchmark. How do we grade players? Peyton Krebs comes in. Year after year, same expectations, always delivers.
What's his career high in points?
It can't be
28
more than
last year. He's at 16.
Oh,
he had 28 last year. He's on pace to break it. We'll see.
I guess it's 25.
That happens.
Next up, Josh Norris.
Could I start this one?
You can start this one. I probably shouldn't start this one.
I
got a lot of crow to eat.
Honestly, I think it's my easiest B of all time.
Really?
Because it is legitimately exactly what we expected or would come to expect from Josh Norris. He's a great player, but he gets hurt and he misses 30 games, and that's basically what's happened. So he's been great when he's in the lineup. He hasn't been available enough. B. It's exactly what we thought would happen. That's how I'm framing it.
I'm giving him a B-. I think he showed why Kevyn did this trade, and I've definitely seen how good of a player he can be and is. I don't think it's been as consistent as I was hoping it was going to be, and once again, like how I had the caveat for McLeod on who he's playing with, maybe it's because Norris isn't getting those top line minutes. But I don't feel like he's putting up the production I think he can, is my caveat.
What
I
is
think
your
he could put
production?
up well, okay, I know he's still like close to a point per game. I think he's like 2 empty net goals. He had like an empty net assist like in this past week or two. I feel like he can be doing more. Even though I'm glad we've seen like the good parts of Norris's game this year, and it's definitely made me feel better about the trade. But I do think he can do better. And once again, maybe it's just who he's playing with. I mean, he's playing with Tuch, but he's not really getting those top line minutes.
Wow. I can't believe me, of all people, I'm going to be the highest. Christian's framing actually does kind of change my mind a little bit, because I know we did this with Samuelsson last year where we don't bake injuries into a lot of this. Like, we could bake that into like Zucker's grade, but it's not really a thing with him. But with Samuelsson, it was always a thing. I guess with Norris, yeah, it was always a thing. So play on the ice, I've put him at an A-. I mean, he has really surprised me. Like, I really did not give him enough credit for what he could be. And, the production, yeah, there's been some empty net stuff in there, but I don't know. I mean, he's already got 10 assists this season, which is that's not his game, and they've been eye-popping assists at times.
I think his playmaking's definitely been better than we all thought.
Yeah, 100%. And I know the power play still kind of stinks, but even him, I just kind of viewed him as a trigger guy, very mano-a-mano with Tage, and he's more than that. He's much more of a facilitator on that, and I think that production that you would maybe want to see more of, you'd be getting if the power play wasn't god-awful from a structure and strategy standpoint.
From a structure, from a strategy, from an execution, just the whole thing's shit.
The whole thing.
The whole thing's shit.
I will try to stay true to how I baked injuries into injury-prone guys. I do like this team. Maybe they're in a completely different place, or maybe they never get off to a bad start if he's healthy the whole season. I don't believe that, but obviously getting injured on opening night after so much discussion about his health, I'll give him a B+. I'll go down to a B+. The play on the ice has been an A-. He's been great. It also, the uptick in play has also been since he got thrown into a second line role rather than being tasked with
first line center.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I think Jonas should be giving him an A+. I mean, he was saying he's our 4th best center. He was saying he's a bad player. Like,
yeah, there's some bad.
I think his grade's too low. But I'm glad you have admitted defeat, at least for now.
I'm seeing the light. I'm seeing the light. Okay. Moving on. Owen Power. Where do we even begin with this one?
It's weird, man. Just all all the discourse you see. I feel like a lot of it just kind of jumbles together in my mind. But I mean, I have my own opinion, as in I had him at a B, just because I feel like rolling over from last year. I feel like it's the same player. And a lot of people would disagree with what I'm saying, as in like he's extremely vital to this team. He's very important to the back end. He's not the flashiest player. He's not the Cale Makar. He's not gonna get you 80, 90 points a season, but he's going to play a good two-way game. He's gonna jump up into the rush when he wants to, and he's not gonna kill you on the back end. And I think I really haven't seen too much to really to turn my nose away from it. Is that the phrase? I don't know.
Turn a blind eye.
Turn a blind eye to. Like, yeah, it's like I'm not ignoring a lot like of bad, but people want to see upgrades in his physical game. And,
yeah. I mean, look, the physical thing is it's just always going to be a thing with him. He's a soft player. I'll never beat around the bush with that. But you want to know how like this stretch has been such a good stretch of hockey for him? You just haven't heard anything.
Exactly. Quietly one of the best players on the team.
Yes.
And that's what he was last year, so I have him at a B.
I also had him at a B. I think, the production, this year the production has taken a hit. I mean, he's still got he's shooting 4.8%. The on-ice shooting percentage, I think, is still around there as well. Like a lot of this, the numbers would be higher. Plus, I think Bowen Byram's overtaken him on the second unit, which I don't know if I agree with. I mean, Power's never been a great power play quarterback, but don't know if I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, he's doing Owen Power things. He's just, to this point in his career, he has not taken the step. I mean, the underlying stats are still as strong as they've ever been. This year, he's a positive defensive player, which I know a lot of people might not want or would have been thought to believe. But he's been a lot more responsible this year. I do truly believe that. And I think the offense will come. I don't know if it's this year. Maybe there's just the type of season where he just kind of has nightmarish production, even though it's not so bad. But, like we said, he is getting outscored by Mattias Samuelsson, which is pretty absurd.
Funny stuff.
Yeah, I've been pleased. And very underrated part. We talk about Alex Tuch. We talk about Ryan McLeod. Owen Power is maybe their best defensive penalty killer besides Mattias Samuelsson. He doesn't block as many shots, but his reads are just as good. I mean, I still go back to the game against the Leafs earlier this season where Alex Tuch scored the 5-3 goal to really clinch the game. And it was all because Owen Power read a pass on the power play and set up the shorthanded goal. That's been him quietly doing his thing.
Yeah, I'm giving him B- just solely because his production has dropped, and I hope he starts to produce more. That's really the only reason I dropped him down. I think he's been doing his thing. I don't think it's a coincidence that Bowen Byram has been playing so good and he's been paired with Owen Power. I think he's still doing his thing. I think his mistakes will always stand out more than his good plays, so that's why people hate him. But I think he's still doing his thing, and he's been very good recently.
All right. Moving along. Beck Malenstyn.
Beck Malenstyn goat.
Beck the Bullet Malenstyn.
I love his game. His speed bursts are like top of the league. Just it's like the Taylor Rapp of the Sabres. He will fly 100 miles an hour into the offensive zone, and he just won't use his brakes, and he'll just slam into the backboards. He's been a great fourth liner. I have him at a B.
Same here. Solid B.
Really? I'm the high one on this one. I'm giving him an A. I mean, I think he's been great this year. I think
he's been fun. I think he's been more fun. I don't know if he's necessarily been better.
I guess that's fair. I'm still leaving him an A because he's fun to watch. Last year, I don't think he definitely did not hit as much, and for whatever reason, he's just that guy this year. So he's been fun to watch.
All right. Well, before we move on to the next one, if you've noticed, if you're watching the video version, wearing these very, very, very cool, I'll try and get a better view, very cool William Mattar, James Cook t-shirts. They teamed up. If you're asking where we got these shirts, they're doing big things in the Buffalo community. They've partnered to raise money for Build Promise, an organization in Buffalo committed to empowering the underserved residents of Buffalo's East Side. They provide comprehensive services and opportunities that promote safety, health, and dignity. Part of the proceeds from every shirt purchased will go towards helping those in need. Get yours today at buildpromise.com. Very cool cause, and big thanks to William Mattar for providing us with these shirts.
Yes, and we are happy that the Bills won, and
that too. Like we said, recording on Sunday.
Yeah. If they
Sweat.
lost and we had to wear this, it would have been a little different.
Oh my God, these would have been soaked with tears. It would have been very upsetting. But go get yours today. Very good cause. Next up, speaking of fourth liners, Jordan Greenway.
Man. I don't want to start this one. Someone else. JP.
I could start. I gave him a C. He definitely has not been as good as he was last year. Like, that's the reason he got the extension. I think he's been better recently. I mean, obviously, it's one of the first times that I can recall someone getting load management in the NHL, which was definitely unique. But I think that actually was effective because I think he's been better recently. But he definitely started off really bad. I definitely want more out of him. Like, I want him to be a little more physical, but I still think he's probably not 100%. But we do also have to give him credit. He's part of the leadership group now. So, I mean, he's one of the
he is.
of this team.
He is. It is very and me type of leadership group.
No.
Yeah.
Not you. Not you, Seamus.
I want him to return to last year's play because he was very good last year.
Yeah. I have him at a C-. The contract, the load management thing, the start to the season, I don't really love his game. I mean, even for a fourth liner, it just doesn't seem like he brings much to the table. I'm glad the team likes him. I'm glad he's an important part of the locker room, but just don't really see it. Just C-.
I also went with a C. Same thing. Not really much to add there. It's been a little bit of a disappointment. Obviously, his rehab got a little bit thrown off the rails, but I would argue it's a bit of a injury thing, too, with him now. I mean, like Jeep said, load management. Pretty rare for NHL players. Mm-hmm. And Greenway's never been an 82-game player anyways, so I will also go with a C. Also, speaking of fourth liners, Noah Östlund.
That's what I thought you were going with the first time.
I almost did, but I jumped to Greenway. Fourth line center Noah Östlund.
I hate that he's on the.
We don't need to get into this. We don't need to get into this. We're talking grades. We're talking
grades.
Wow. I mean, from the I won't say from the moment he got here. First stint, played a few games with the team while dealing with injuries. While the team was dealing with injuries, played fine. Didn't get much production. I don't think he got any production. Then got sent down. When he got called up the second time, he has not looked back. He has been such a blessing and joy to watch for this team, essentially filling the void that Jiri Kulich left when he had to leave the team. I've said this before. He's seamlessly made you forget about the fact that Kulich is out, maybe for the year.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best testament to him. He's been great. Maybe the best defensive player on the team, not named Samuelsson or Josh Doan. That for a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, that is also very impressive. And I know we don't like the fact he's on the fourth line due to, what's going on in like the top of the lineup. If the Buffalo Sabres do the thing, if they make the playoffs and he's the game one fourth line center, I will not hate that because he maybe is their most defensively responsible player, and I see why Lindy trusts him in that role.
And he's elevated those players around him on the fourth line.
That too. I mean, the first game he played against Vancouver, like they scored a goal. That line combined. I mean, Metsa was the one that scored the goal, but that line was out there, and I think that was a big boost. That fourth line, that when like Josh Dunne was there, we really discussed how the goals weren't really coming through despite them looking good. I think Östlund is an attempt trying to fix that. It's just hard to say. I gave him an A plus, or A. I wouldn't go as far as to say a plus, but I gave him an A.
I agree. I think we found out that we have a player here. Mm-hmm. He's very reliable. His goal scoring, I think, has kind of been a surprise. I mean, he has 7 goals, and I think he's more known for his playmaking. That's probably the only reason I'm not giving him an A+. You know, I want to see his playmaking go up, even though I think he's been pretty good with it. I just, the numbers aren't there yet. But we got a player there. I'm very excited for his future. He's still, how old is he? Is he older than Benson?
Yeah,
he's a year older than Benson.
Yeah, he was taking a
21.
full year before. Yeah, 22
he's 21.
draft.
Yeah, he's a fun player to watch. He's one of those other guys on their team who I just think of as kind of like a dog. Like I group him in there with Doan and Benson. They just make all like the right plays.
Yeah, I have him at an A. He took his opportunity he ran with it. Like when him and Roseanne came up, you gave him reason to not send him back down. Well, there was a reason he did get sent back down, but we're not going to.
You know what? I might just give him another half letter grade for getting Kevyn Adams fired.
Yeah, he caused that chain reaction. Yeah, A for Noah Östlund.
Yeah, what a story. Conor Timmins, another off-season acquisition. Obviously, going to be missing some time here. Broken leg. You know, that's very unfortunate for that to have happened to him and the team being without him. I liked what I saw at the start. But then, like him and Power were putting up some pretty good results together. Then his time with the third pair started, whether that was Jacob Bryson or, you know, most notably of all, Bowen Byram. It's really hard to have expectations for a guy you know is going to be on the third pair. But I think really recently, his last stretch before going down was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I went with a C.
Yeah, he did start to trail off a little bit. I still like him. I think he'll be an important part of the team when he's back. Him and Kesselring. Even though I do really like the 7 and 8 or the 7 and 8 guys that are playing 5 and 6 right now, but I have Timmins at a C+. Definitely an upgrade over Clifton when we made that move.
Agreed. Yeah, I actually gave him a B-. I definitely liked what I saw early in the season. I think his recent stretch, we're starting to see some of his negatives that people I've seen on Twitter talk about. I think the part that hasn't been mentioned is I think at least when he was playing at the beginning of the season, I mean, he was towards the top of the league in block shots. Like, he's also very good on the penalty kill just because of that. And yeah, at the end of the day, I think he's better than Clifton, so I don't mind him at all. I'm giving him a B-.
Jacob, the glue guy, Bryson. This one's all yours, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, like, the vibes and the aura are off the charts, too. What could you say? No, but in all seriousness, I mean, just a great role guy, you know, just he's not going to kill you on a nightly basis. He's not going to play on a nightly basis, but he's going to step up when players go down, and he's going to slot into that role, that third pairing role, and he's great. I think he's exactly what I thought he was going to be, just like I did last year and the season before. I have him at a B. No complaints. I don't think he's, you know, done anything to cement himself as an every night player, but I sure am glad to have him as the seventh defenseman than like some other schmuck in the league. So
I'm giving him a B+ because I have not thought as highly as Christian of him in the past. But I think he's been serviceable this year, especially this recent stretch when he's been paired with Metsa has been very surprising to me that pair has actually been fine, I think. It's interesting that he's been scratched over Metsa. I would just want to add that in there. But I think he's been better than I think of him. So B+.
Yeah, he's like my Peyton Krebs of the defense group, year in, year out, just doing exactly what I expect of him. It's the same here. I'm going B. Tyson Kozak made a name for himself last season, and he made the opening night roster this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he did.
Yep.
Kind of doing the same thing he did last season, where comes in, plays really solid hockey, and then he goes down with some sort of injury. Like, that's just something he has not been able to shake to this point. But whenever he plays, it's hard to say he's not a reliable player out there. So I just went with a B.
Yeah, this one was probably the one I had the hardest time trying to select a grade for, because I was thinking, like, what are my expectations? And also, you know, over the course of the season, yeah, he's been great when he's in the lineup, but he's hurt. So I kind of just did the same thing I did with Norris, and I was just like, he's great when he's in, but he's been hurt. So I went with a B. I just kept it at, you know, status quo, basically. I feel like if he was in the lineup every single night, or just more consistently in the lineup, he definitely would have had a higher grade.
What's so funny over there, JP? You've been smirking the moment you started talking.
My grade's a lot lower.
Oh,
really?
It's definitely
honestly,
like a C-.
It is a C-. I honestly have not been impressed with his play this year. Like last year, I loved him. I don't think he's been as good last year, and I don't think he's. I came into this season really liking Kozak. My opinions may have changed. Like I don't think he's been that impressive.
Put some respect on Tyson Kozak.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. I
don't know
he's doing the same exact thing.
I don't know if the numbers even agree with what I'm saying. I just haven't been that impressed this year.
All right.
Fair enough.
You're free to think that.
Free country.
Yeah. Josh Dunne, another fourth line guy who, in my opinion, has vastly exceeded what I thought of him when he was getting called up early in the season. He has made that fourth line, whenever he's in the lineup, a lot more three-dimensional. And I think is someone who we just expect. I mean, hell, he was expected to possibly be like Zach Metsa, where he's mostly with the Amherst, possibly their captain, has come in and really possibly earned himself a spot moving forward. We'll see once guys get healthy, but I had him at an A-.
Yeah, I have him at a B+. Serviceable fourth line guy. It's strange how many, like, you know, I guess we can call them fringe players since they're playing like fourth line. They've all been, none of them have killed this team. There hasn't been that one guy where you're just like, oh my God, could you, like, enough already, please?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there is one for you.
We haven't gotten there yet.
I'm giving him A+. I think he's vastly exceeded my expectations, and I could see himself being a staple on this fourth line, you know, for years to come. Like, he's just been great. Even like his first stint, I wasn't too impressed, but since then, he's been very good, and it's been pretty surprising, actually.
Zach Metsa. I thought he was very overmatched at the start of the season when they called upon him, but as of recently, I mean, Bowen Byram's playing his best hockey in years, and he's doing it. He did a lot of it while next to Zach Metsa, and now he's on pair with Jacob Bryson, and they have not looked out of place, like not really at all.
No,
which is
bad.
Yeah, I thought it'd be flashbacks of the Bryson Fitzgerald pair from years past.
Oh, Casey Fitzgerald.
And he is it's been okay. So I went with a B. I think there's been good. I just think his play has averaged out this year. Got his first NHL goal last week. Very cool moment. It's a good story.
Yeah, I feel a lot of similar things as to I feel with Bryson, with Zach Metsa, but my expectations for Bryson were higher, so I have Metsa at a B+.
I actually have him at an A-. He's surprised me with how reliable he's been, considering he's been a staple in the lineup recently. So I'll stick with an A-.
All right, last player. I saved him for last. Michael Kesselring.
He also doesn't have a point, so he's at the bottom.
Yeah, so I ranked.
If
Yeah, like I said, I mentioned that I ranked them this way. Yeah, I mean, I think Ellis is higher. I think Ellis and Lyon. Do all the goalies have a point this year?
Yeah,
all the goalies
do.
might be outscoring
He's the very
Michael
bottom.
Kesselring.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Coming into this season, we really thought that he was going to be the what Josh Doan was, like the blessing for the team, being the guy that truly unlocked the next stage of Owen Power's career, and he just flat out hasn't been. He has not been good, in my opinion, when on the ice. I thought there was maybe a slight uptick when the team started to win, once they got towards the back half of the 10-game streak. But then he went down with injury again. And, it's not anything long-term, but it's hard to say he's been anything but a disappointment. I baked the injuries into this. Like, he's not an injured guy a lot. And this year it's just kind of been like a cascading thing where it's just one injury after another. So I went with a C-. Very easily could be for the actual play on the ice, you could maybe go F grade here. I'm not going to really sugarcoat it.
I mean, I didn't hate his on-ice play too much when he was healthy. I mean, I know he didn't play a ton with Power because of the injuries. A lot of the basis for my grade specifically are just based on his injuries and his unavailability. I went with a C- too, but there's no doubt that I think that he could still be a great player for this team. I just think it's going to take him being healthy and in the lineup consistently and just getting back in the groove of playing actual NHL hockey.
Yeah, I'm giving him a C. All the same things you guys said. This honestly might already be like a throwaway year for him. Like it's just been at least the first half of the season.
I'm treating it as such.
Yeah, I mean, he could turn around the second half if he's healthy for these last 40 games. He could definitely change that, but this could just be a throwaway year because his full training camp he wasn't participating in the whole training camp because he got hurt. Then he came back, got hurt again. So I'm sure he is very frustrated, not only with his play, but just with how this season's gone with him health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On to the goaltenders. We'll start with Alex Lyon. I think he's given them a lot of good games. As with any goaltender, there's going to be some dark spots. But I think when he was signed, you knew this was a guy, at the very least, would be a reliable backup, and this season he has been more than that. Mm-hmm. So I went with a B+.
I went with an A. I wasn't expecting him to at least, have as good of a run as he did when they went on that winning streak. And even before that, I know he's also kind of battled injury here and there too, but I feel most comfortable on a night-to-night basis with him in net. So, and they've also gone through a 3-goalie rotation where all 3 goalies have said that they've hated it. So I also consider that adversity because you're taking practice reps away from a guy. So I went with an A.
I went with an A-. Definitely better than I thought he was. He was a large part of why we were able to stay afloat in the beginning of the season. And he's definitely had some very good games, probably been your most reliable goalie, and his numbers are pretty good too. So hopefully he could come back healthy.
Yeah, I think I could be talked into an A-. I think maybe that's more accurate. It's hard to say he hasn't been great for them. Colten Ellis. Very interesting guy to gauge on what you thought of him going in.
This is probably the one I debated the most on what grade I wanted to give him.
I just went with a B. I think he's been what I've always thought from the start. He has been a guy. He has been giving them average most of the time. I think he's like when they acquired him, I've always looked at him through the glass of like this is another Eric Comrie type goalie, and I think he has given you Eric Comrie type goaltending. Has stolen maybe 1 game, maybe 2, and most other nights has just given you a chance to win.
I went with a B-. He's a raw product. He hasn't played many games. I mean, when we picked him up, I was kind of assuming, we're going to see him more often. We just haven't. But he hasn't been bad. He hasn't killed the team, so B-.
Yeah, I give him B- too. I think my expectations probably a little too high. Thinking of the season preview where I was pretty high on him, but I mean he's only played 9 games, and you would have thought he was going to play a lot more, especially considering Luukkonen was obviously hurt to start the season, and it took Ellis a long time to get in. But I just think he's been too inconsistent. But his numbers are still solid. Like he's at a .900 save percentage. So B-. He's probably going to get waived soon. So I think for his sake, I think he's like an NHL backup. So I hope he sticks in the NHL.
And the one we've all been waiting for. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. This one's all yours, Christian.
Oh,
the people want to hear your thoughts. The people want to hear your thoughts.
So here's my thoughts, because my opinions kind of changed over the past, like, since we started talking about the goalies, my opinions kind of changed on expectations for what I think of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. So I'll give you what my original grade was right now that I have in front of me. It's a C. I have him at a C. But then I also think about, like, what did I expect him to be coming into the season? Oh, I expected him to be a very up and down, streaky goalie who, you never know what you're getting on a night-to-night basis. So then I'm like, do I have to, like, bump it up now? Do I have to make it a C or a B? I don't know. I feel like I'll go to a C+. I'll bump it up to a C+.
How
That's
kind
crazy.
of you. I went with a B. He has been, I feel like you kind of hit on it. I feel like he's been exactly what I thought Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen would be.
Yeah, I feel like I have to make it a B because it's kind of the point I just made, right?
How do you go from a C+ to a B?
I went
C.
from a C.
He went from a
I went
C to a
Oh,
B.
you were originally a C?
So, did you hear my story when you?
No,
I didn't know you walked away.
Sorry, I stepped out for a sec.
So yeah, to just make it quick, I said I was wrestling with what my expectations were for him, and I was like, I originally had him at a C, and then I was like, well, I also did expect him to be this streaky up and down goalie as we talk about all the time, or at least I talk about. So I'm like, do I have to bump him up to a B because that was my expectation? So I guess I have to. I have to be consistent across the board here. I'll bump him up to a B, I guess. It's exactly what I thought he was going to be.
I'm actually giving him a B+. I think he's probably been more largely good than bad this year. I was looking at money pucks, expected goal save above expected. Him and Lyon are right next to each other, with Lyon being 36th and UPL being 37th. I think, especially recently, I think he's been playing better. So I think he's been a little better than I thought he would be. He's still, over the course of the season, he's still inconsistent UPL, but maybe it's recency bias. He's been playing better recently. Definitely always has one goal a night that's like, what the hell, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. All right. I don't know if I said I also put him at a B. All right. All the players done. Did want to touch on the coaching staff, though. Would have given maybe like Kekäläinen a grade, but he hasn't done anything yet.
No.
Did
we want to give Kevyn Adams a grade?
Well, he got fired, so I might as well give him an F, right?
His offseason looked pretty good.
They
Josh
were
Norris, Josh
none of
Doan.
the team was good until after he was fired.
The first three wins were under him.
But there were already whispers of him getting canned.
Yeah,
It's so evil. It's so evil to give Kevyn Adams a grade.
Yeah, I don't think we should.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It is crazy though. Like, he should be given credit. Like, this was the team he built.
Dude, like imagine this team. Like we've talked about, like if they go on this run and like finish with like 100-something points, get to like second in the division, go to the playoffs, maybe make some noise, and they didn't make a single trade in the process from when Kekäläinen was hired.
Kind of.
Does he get like GM
evil.
of the year? Can you give it like? Remember when wasn't there like an MLB coach that did he win? I think they won Coach of the Year after getting fired. Wasn't it like the White Sox bench coach or someone or manager? Yeah, obviously they call them managers. I want to see that happen. Like would he get like GM votes tossed his way?
That'd be evil.
Wouldn't that be so
hilarious.
funny?
It's not ridiculous. This is his team at the end of the day.
So far it is.
Jarmo is nothing. Yeah.
Now, if they trade for Artemi Panarin, that's a completely different discussion.
Different episode.
Yeah.
Not the greatest episode.
We touched on that already.
Yeah. All it takes is one Jarmo move, and it's his team. Even if it's a fourth liner. Like,
This is true.
As for the coaching staff, Lindy Ruff, thoughts on his coaching year so far?
I gave him a B+. I think we can't understate that coaching has probably definitely played a part in the recent resurgence. And I want to give him credit too, even with all of the discourse around him after and during when Kevyn got fired. I mean, people are saying he might not be here for long. People are saying he might move up, and I don't think it affected him at all. I think we have to give him credit for where this team is at, and I think you could see how much he's changed as a coach from his first tenure with the Sabres, which is obviously very long, to now. Like, he's just a different coach, and it's worked on this team, I think.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I gave him an A-. Just the adversity he's battled through. He's turned the team around, and can't say anything bad right now.
I'm trying to think of, like...
Didn't he look... Was it this year or was it last year when he just looked so depressed?
It's probably during the...
It might have been early this
season. Well, I mean, there was the I have no words, or... What did he say?
I'm at a loss.
I'm at a loss for words.
I'm at a loss for words.
Like, 2 months into his return as coach, like, not great. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of, like, things that have actually... Like, you think about the steps this team is taking. Like, they're a legit team at 5-on-5 now. We're watching the first... possibly average to maybe above average defensively team, Sabres team since they maybe last made the playoffs. Like, it's been a minute, and their offense is legit. And like, I'm just trying to, like, the things that have, like, irked me. It's been like Tage Thompson at center, which has not been touched now in like a solid month. The Byram Timmins pair was very frustrating. But that's not a thing.
Mason Gearston.
The Gearston thing was pretty bad. But even when he played, he was there some nights like 3 minutes a night. Mm-hmm. And that was more, honest to God, that was I say maybe because he's obviously a Lindy guy. That might have been more of an Adams thing. Because for a while there, he was just sitting on the roster. He only played, 5 games?
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? Something else made me mad. No, I think that's kind of it, right? Tage. I mean, I guess the Krebs thing recently, but that's like one small thing that hasn't even like not worked.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to give
no
him credit
coach
for how he's utilized other players. I
yeah,
mean,
like,
he trusts Östlund, Doan, Benson. Like, he trusts a lot of these players.
No coach is ever going to like 100% please you with lineup decisions. And it's hard to say his have been that bad. I don't know. Like, I think how much longer until we start hearing Jack Adams noise? You know? It'll be there if they keep doing this.
They keep
if
winning.
they make the playoffs, so we'll be there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I went with
Is there
an
an argument for someone else right now?
I went with an A-. Well, I mean, Bednar. Bednar's going to be a friggin' shoo-in if they never stop winning. Other than that, I don't know. Like, who is the other coach of the year candidates? Maybe Tom McLellan? Montreal hates St. Louis, so I don't know if he gets there. I don't know. I think he's been great. Mm-hmm. You know, I think the only noise, he did, like I said, he did stuff that irked us. Still does, but I don't think it was ever so bad. And I think the thing, the noise when he was getting, when we thought he might, when they might move on from him was, you're just looking at the long-term picture. He doesn't have a contract past this season. Kekäläinen didn't pick him. I don't know if it was like purely anything that he did. So maybe with him I'm drinking a bit of the recency bias, but I went with an A. I think I've been very pleased with this. This team has been legit, and it's a lot of because of him.
Yeah. I want to throw in quick Norris and Tage being together. We didn't like that, I think.
Yeah.
That was probably him a lot.
I guess like putting two of your best players together, like as far as bad decisions go, it's not the worst you can do, and he went away from that rather quickly. Mm-hmm. So, rest of the coaching staff, it's really I mean, the penalty kill's been great, power play's been not, the goaltending's been okay. So, I gave like the rest of the staff a B.
Damn power play. I don't care.
Okay, C+.
I'm only putting this on Seth Appert. Fix the damn power play. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably give him a B. Fix the damn power play.
I've got a B+ because it's above what I thought, and my expectations weren't very high. So
That's true. I mean, we
not
kind
much
of
else to say.
can't really say we had a lot of faith in the power play,
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
and it's still below expectations. All right, so that's everybody. JP, do you want to recap where we averaged out to in all our grades?
Yeah, let's do it. Tage, a B-. Tuch, B+. Doan, A+. Dahlin, C+. McLeod, A-. Byram, A-. Quinn, C. Samuelsson, A+. I'm going to add a few pluses to Samuelsson. Zucker, B-. Benson, a B. Krebs, B+. Norris, a B. Power, a B. Malenstyn, B+. Greenway, a C. Östlund, an A. Timmins, C+. Bryson, B. Kozak, B-. Dunne, A-. Metsa, B+. Kesselring, C-. Lyon, A-. Ellis, B-. Luukkonen, B. Ruff, A-. And the coaching staff, a B.
All right. So, with that, I believe that's all we have for now. We'll be back with you next weekend to talk hopefully about some more Sabres wins. And, yeah. So, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at The Sabre Report. Also on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at The Sabre Report. If you listen to this on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. A lot of thoughts being tossed around about players in this one. Give us your grades, your thoughts about player performances this season and coaching and GMing and whatnot. If you want updates for the pod, you can follow us at Sabre Report Pod on Twitter. Go give our friends over at the Buffalo Sports Talk podcast a listen. Bills advance to the divisional round. They'll be breaking down the wild card game and their matchup heading into next week. Obviously, we don't know the opponent as of recording this, but by the time they release their episode, we will. So, with that, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. And as always, go Sabres.
Go Sabres.
Go Sabres.